Today we're continuing our reading out of As Bill Sees It under the subject of 12th stepping approaches in on page 190. The AA way in the home. Though an alcoholic does not respond, there is no reason why you should neglect his family. You should continue to be friendly with them, explaining AA's concept of alcoholism and its treatment. If they accept this and also apply our principles to their problems, there's a much better chance that the head of the family will recover. And even though he continues to drink, the family will find life more bearable. Unless a new member's family readily expresses a desire to live upon spiritual principles, we think he ought not to urge them. They will change in time. His better behavior will usually convince them far more than his words. Today, the initiation of the AA way of life in the home is the central purpose of the Al-Anon family groups, of which there are, as of 1984, over 22,000 throughout the world. These are composed of wives, husbands, and relatives of alcoholics. In restoring families to the good life, Al-Anon's success has been enormous. 192, carrying the message. The wonderful energy the 12th step releases, by which it carries our message to the next suffering alcoholic, and finally translate the 12 steps into action upon all our affairs, is the payoff, the magnificent reality of AA. Never talk down to an alcoholic from any moral or spiritual hilltop. Simply lay out the kit of spiritual tools for his inspection. Show him how they work for you. Offer him friendship and fellowship. 199. Arrogance and its opposite. A very tough-minded prospect has taken to his first AA meeting, where two speakers, or maybe lecturers, theme their talks on God as I understand him. Their attitude oozed arrogance. In fact, the final speaker got far overboard on his personal theological convictions. Both were repeating my performance of years before. Implicit in everything they said was the same idea. Folks, listen to us. We have the only true brand of AA, and you'd better get it. The new prospect said he'd had it, and he had. His sponsor protested that it wasn't real AA, but it was too late. Nobody could touch him after that. I see humility for today as a safe and secure stance midway between violent emotional extremes. It is a quiet place where I can keep enough perspective and enough balance to take my next small step on the clearly marked road that points toward eternal values. 201. Unlimited choice. Any number of alcoholics are bedeviled by the dire conviction that if they ever go near AA, they will be pressured to conform to some particular brand of faith or theology. They just don't realize that faith is never an imperative for AA membership, that sobriety can be achieved with an easy, acceptable minimum of it, and that our concepts of a higher power in God, as we understand him, afford everyone a nearly unlimited choice of spiritual belief and action. In talking to a prospect, stress the spiritual feature freely. If the man be atheist or agnostic or atheist, make it emphatic that he doesn't have to agree with your conception of God. He can choose any concept he likes, provided it makes sense to him. The main thing is that he be willing to believe in a power greater than himself and that he lived by spiritual principles. 2:12, faith and action. Your prospects' religious your prospects' religious education and training may be far superior to yours. In that case, he is going to wonder how you can add anything to what he already knows. But he will be curious to learn why his convictions have not worked and why yours seem to work so well. He may be an example of the truth that faith alone is insufficient. To be vital, faith must be accompanied by self-sacrifice and unselfish constructive action. Admit that he probably knows more about religion than you do, but remind him that, however deep his faith and knowledge, these quantities could not have served him very well, or he would not be asking for your help. Dr. Bob did not need me for his spiritual instruction. He already had more of that than I. What he needed when we first met was the deflation at depth and the understanding that only one drunk can give to another. What I needed was the humility of self-forgetfulness and the kinship of another human being of my own kind. 2:17, hope born from hopelessness. Hope born from hopelessness. Letter to Dr. Carl Jung. Most conversion experiences, whatever their variety, do have a common denominator of ego collapse at depth. The individual faces an impossible dilemma. In my case, the dilemma had been created by my compulsive drinking, and the deep feeling of hopelessness had been vastly deepened by my doctor. It was deepened still more by my alcoholic friend when he acquainted me with your verdict of hopelessness respecting Roland H. In the wake of my spiritual experience, there came a vision of a society of alcoholics. If each sufferer were to carry the news of the scientific hopelessness of alcoholism to each new prospect, he might be able to lay every newcomer wide open to a transforming spiritual experience. This concept proved to be the foundation of such success as AA has since achieved.